I'll call the meeting to order at 4 o'clock. Please make sure your cell phones are on silent. And call to order and roll call. Oh, I'm sorry. This meeting, the regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the Twin Palms Water District, April 23rd, 2025 at 4 p.m. This meeting may be viewed on the district's website at www.twinpalmswater.net. The board reserves the right to discuss only or take action on any item on the agenda. Roll call. Call to order and roll call, please, Cindy.
Director Arthur?
Here.
Director Bowden?
Here.
Director Coghill?
Here.
Director Leeser is absent. Director Amy Woods?
Present.
Okay. Next we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Arthur, would you, Director Arthur, would you lead us?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Michael. Okay. Cindy, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
There are none.
Okay. Public comments. Are there any public comments?
There
All
are
right.
none.
Item 1. Approve directors to attend the CSDA Annual Conference and Exhibitor Showcase in August 25th, 2025 through August 28th, 2025, and provide daily meeting stipend.
Good afternoon, President of the board and members of the board. Before you today, the staff is looking for the board members to attend California Special District Association Annual Conference. Again, this year's conference will be up in Monterey from August 25th through August 28th. Along with the conference, approval will need to be for daily stipends for the conference. Just a little bit on the conference. We're going a little early this year because it's going to fill up quick, so the poster wasn't even out. Early registration is about $900 a member, and rooms are about $250 a night, so it's pretty critical that we get a good count, and we get kind of planning early. For some of us will be driving up, other ones appear to want to fly, so I just want to make sure that everything is set and registration is good to go. So if there's any open discussion, and then looking for a motion.
Larry and Amy, you both have indicated that you want to go and you're going to fly, right?
I'm not able to. That is the first school board meeting of the season, and I am not
Okay.
able to go.
Yes.
Okay. My wife and I are both going to go, so that means I'm driving. Michael, you going to go?
I can go.
Okay.
So why don't we do what we've
And I believe
done?
I believe Randy's going to go.
Why don't we do a blanket, just saying that we approve all the board members to go, approve the daily stipends, and then we'll get a count, and Cindy and I will start working on getting everybody kind of structured, flights, and everything ready for this conference.
That needs to be in a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded for board members to attend the annual conference in Monterey this year. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, so ordered. Also, in regard to that time frame, the Wednesday that we're going to be in Monterey is also a board meeting. So we either got two choices. We either open a week or postpone the meeting. Just
Correct.
food for thought.
And we've got some months to have
Yeah.
that discussion.
Yeah. Item 2, discussion of Board of Directors' healthcare benefits and comparisons. General Manager?
At the March meeting for Board of Directors, it was giving staff the direction to just research the director's benefits of other water districts close by. So before you today are the district's director's benefits of other districts in the area. And really, we're open for discussion, or does it, if you guys want me to go through those 4 districts, I don't mind. But before you today is open discussion on benefits for other directors at water districts.
Okay. Discussion? Director Bowden?
Aye. I read
Director
it.
Woods?
I've read it.
Director Arthur?
It was pretty eye-opening.
Yeah, same, that's what I thought. So going forward, is there anything we need to do going forward?
I have no questions or comments.
Okay. All right, moving right along. Item number 3 is the consent calendar, and matters under the consent calendar are to be considered routine and will be enacted in a single motion. There will be no separate discussions of these items unless the board, staff, or the public request specific items to be removed for separate discussion and action before the board votes on the motion. They are the minutes of the regular meeting held on March 26, 25, and the current audit list. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Looking for a second.
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded that we approve the audit list. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. And items removed, there were none. So item 5, management reports. And I understand you're going to give
I'm going to give management reports
manager
today.
reports today because
So-
all the guys are in the field.
Just want to explain, the district staff currently is working on a pretty big pipeline project that we don't normally do when we don't have an in-house pipeline crew. There's a section of town that Mike is totally concentrating on with the staff and most of the staff. So Robert is out and it was a scheduled outing, so I prepped board packets, board reports for today. So for the month of March, distribution crews responded to 114 service alerts, USA service alerts. We repaired 3 water main leaks, installed 1 water service, and painted 34 fire hydrants. On the customer service task for the month, there were 407 completed work orders, and there were 21 shutoffs performed. For the month of, for this month, the district staff generated 1,086 past due work bills, and for the month, penalties were $5,997.81. And if the, another note that I have, this month it seemed like hydrants got hit quite a bit. Mike has already worked really hard. That's a process when a hydrant gets hit that we have to go after insurance companies, and it looks like he's already recouped about $11,000 in lost water loss out of the hydrants from us doing the flow calculation and how long it was off. $2,800 on one and $8,600 on another. That's pretty big because if they're hit and runs, we don't get reimbursed for hydrants and water. So in our water loss for the month, he has to report, and there's a lot of times we can't tell the state where water loss goes. So just kind of good job on his part to keep track and stay on these insurance companies to get us paid for these hit hydrants. You'll see them in reimbursed expenses months and months down the road. But at least to bring it up is something that I wanted to do. And if you guys had any comments for me or questions, Mike and I are both here.
No comments or considerations? Anyone? Michael?
Was that what was just up the road here?
That's actually a third one. That was a
Okay.
hit and run that we
Okay.
do not have the insurance information. So although we still put a police report in case later on we find out what happened, the district doesn't stop really. So
Sure.
we're letting the cops take it from there, but usually if there's a car on the side of the road with plates, we do our due diligence to make sure that we get all the reporting stuff in front of us. And we're calling usually hydrants get hit on Saturdays, Fridays, Saturdays, so we're calling on Mondays, and you have to jump on those calls or we're not going to get reimbursed.
Well, if Michael's here, we tell him a good job, so tell him a good job for him.
All right.
I see there was 1 new service installed for a total of 10 for the fiscal year.
Correct. Yeah.
All right, moving right along. Water quality. We're gonna be-
I am also going to do water quality. So for the month, there was 50 routine and 17 special bacteria samples that were taken throughout the distribution system, which all of them were absent for call alert. Again, the district samples many samples throughout the month at wells, at distribution points, and again, we haven't taken a call alert hit in a very long time. Usually if we ever take a call alert hit, just so you guys are aware, it's error of the operator and cleanliness of how we pull that sample, that we have to do repeat samples the next day up and downstream. So there's a process if we ever take a bad hit. Moving on to production for the month, March, the district produced 55.6 million gallons. Robert usually puts it in acre feet, which is 170.67 acre feet, which is an increase from the prior year of 11%. Year to date, the district has produced around 40 acre feet extra, which is 13 million gallons, just trying to break it down in millions of gallons. And that was from the previous year. We're tracking pretty normal where we're at. 11% is a little high, but the month previous we were, a negative 1.73%. So just to put that in perspective, like I said, we're 2.3% in production higher on water produced. And if the board has any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
Any questions? Larry? Mike? Okay. Thank you, Robert. And moving right along. Finance, Scott, you're up.
Good evening, Board of Directors. Included in your packets tonight are financial reports for the month of February. So all else being equal, we're through 8 months of the fiscal year. Our target budget percentage would be 67%. Looking at our P&L summary, year-to-date operating revenues sit right on target at 68%. So looking very good from a revenue standpoint. Non-operating revenues continue to exceed our projections from the budget. And total expense and debt service on line 7 of the summary is at 61%. So trending about 6% under budget year to date. So everything is looking really good. A couple things I do just want to call out on our P&L detail in regards to our non-operating revenues. And I think too, it's just good setup, ahead of budget talks that we'll be having in the coming months at upcoming meetings, just for some director education on what these line items consist of. So 3 that are trending over budget. Line 8, capital impact fees. Those are the fees charged on new connections to the district. Matt, can you help me with capital impact? What else we charge that on? Or
Capital impact fees or new service fees, depending on the size of the meter.
Thank you.
Impacts, yeah.
So we always budget those conservatively. They've been tend to exceed our target for the last several years, but this year we're a lot closer. I think kind of a slowdown and a little development from what we've seen in the past few years. Interest revenue on line 10, we're at 91% of budget, so that will exceed before the end of the year. Couple factors there. First factor being favorable interest rates that are still somewhat persisting right now. We're still earning over 4% in LAIF and our other investment accounts. And also, kind of a function of our budget, we had planned capital spending that has taken a little longer to get off the ground, hasn't been spent, so our cash balance is higher than we would have anticipated in the budget, causing that increase in interest revenue. And then lastly, on line 12, reimbursed expenses. This is over budget due to those hit hydrant type items Matt was just mentioning. We also have reimbursements from Aqua for generator repairs. Next month, we'll see another large reimbursement from Aqua for replacement generator. What we do budget that line for at $20,000 is reimbursements from the city for well monitoring. That's about the only consistent piece that we anticipate getting reimbursed for each year. Anything else that comes in as a result of insurance or other things are extra revenues for the district. With that, happy to answer any questions of the board.
Anyone have questions for Scott?
The one he just talked about was the one I was going to ask about.
Yeah.
Can I add a little bit to financials
Certainly.
really quick? Capital
Certainly.
impact fees.
Please do.
I know it was addressed by the board of directors that the district and the city have some conversations, so maybe we can get that number closer. Stone and myself and Keith and myself have had very many conversations lately on projects going on and housing tracks that could be coming or not coming. So there is a couple projects that we'll be looking for probably pretty high capital impact fees, and this could be a couple years down the road, but off-land construction or the off-land project that is between Shoshone and Indian Cove, there's going to be capital impact fees there. And there's going to be maybe capital impact fees at any other, if the hotel goes into Project Phoenix. So just want everybody to be aware that we're kind of taking a closer look now to make sure that if there's a housing track and capital impact fees that are affecting us, we can budget maybe a little different. Right now, we're going to budget very conservatively like we always have, because of the fact that all we're seeing in growth right now is the 1s and 2s in the neighborhoods. The empty lots, there's not this big growth capital impact fee that we're going to see, and I believe in the next budget we're even going to be a little bit more conservative with that budget.
I believe so. In line with, again, prior years, we were looking at greater than $100,000 for the past 3 or 4 years, which is what prompted us to budget $75,000. Historically, prior to last year, it was not budgeted at all. Mm-hmm. So, but this year, the trend we're looking at, just exceeding our budget. I think we're looking at potentially bumping it down a little further.
Good.
Just so you guys are aware.
So I don't know what our level of involvement is in this one. when we were talking about subdivisions and they would all have to be on a package treatment plant. Do we have a lot of, or any input in such things? Because, you know, almost every package treatment plant in this city is in failure.
Correct. So the package treatment plants are usually through the Regional Quality Control Board. Our regional board, actually, we have a meeting with them next Wednesday to talk about salt nutrient management. Stone and I are going down together, and KJ is going to be there to help us with the proposal to the Colorado Regional Water Quality Control Board. So those are discharge permits that you have to get through them to discharge sewer. The water district does not have the right and is not the purveyor for sewer. To give those rights. So when we're talking about a housing tract or a package treatment plant coming in, the district doesn't have say on where they go and where they are. Now in the off-land project that is probably going to propose a sewer treatment plant, we have facilities, wells close to that area that we will have some input on where that package treatment plant is going to go due to the fact that those are production wells in the city of 29 Palm for the water district. So I would assume that we're going to have some big impacts there and get to have conversation of where they should install that package treatment plant. But anywhere else, we don't give the yay or nay whether they can have a package treatment plant.
I wasn't concerned with that. Most of their failure is a lack of input. They build for 500 houses, they put in 150, and there's no more. Now the people are stuck with it. I've addressed the city on this also, so I was just wondering if we had any kind of input on it, because if the people are allowed to just build a certain amount of houses and then go away, it may never work.
So the package treatment plants that you're referring to are housing tracts that didn't exceed the next stages of the housing tract.
Right.
And if you develop a housing tract for 200 homes and you're feeding it with 50 homes, and you're not seeing that package treatment plant be very efficient. And that is happening at almost all of the package treatment plants, I agree with you. But the water district hasn't stepped in and said, what's the contamination rate? So usually when they're failing, is it failing infrastructure or is it failing samples?
It's failing infrastructure, basically, but I mean, it backs up out on the streets. It fails in many ways, but sooner or later, it's going to be failure and get into the water. So it's just, we should, when I realized what was going on, and I found out about these two, because the people actually come to the city that live in them, they want some kind of help because it's costing them a ton of money.
We've sat with one of the homeowners associations and had the conversation with just the understanding of the purveyor themselves need to understand that this is a failing system and they're ticking time bombs. They are. And their HOA fees are not paying for them to be repaired. That's the fact of the matter, is their HOAs that they've decided at these housing tracts were never built in to rebuild that treatment plant. And it's kind of the same look. It's almost forming like an assessment district on that plant specifically because it's only affecting that plant. So you have to be very careful how you spend money through other parts, even of a water district. When we had a 4AD assessment district, people paid for that assessment district, those people. It wasn't other funds from the district that we could subsidize for the 4AD program. They had to pay that back, and it's very similar to these housing tracts. If they're failing and you have not committed enough money in your HOAs, how are these going to get fixed? Now people are looking at the city and saying, hey, you approved these, how are these going to get fixed?
Exactly.
But you're 100% agree with you that anytime water quality becomes an issue, this district will always sit at the table and always have comments
Are we
to say.
the only city in the state of California that is running into this problem? And I'm in a water district thing here. I'm not in a city thing, even though I ask these things. Is there a group of people or water districts that have a concern with exactly what's happening? Because when I realized what's going on, it was not cool.
Yeah.
Disturbing.
It's hard to comment on that. Do other water districts know? Because not every water district is the sewer purveyor.
Right.
So in this community,
Some of them are.
and some of them are, right. But not all of them are. And then where these private off-site treatment plants are, the people that own those plants are responsible for. So now that they're failing, people's hands are up in the air and saying, how do we get some help? So I think these discharge permits, the meeting that we're going to on Wednesday is to talk salt nutrient management, which again is the upper layer of water. Are we protecting all the water? Through the salt nutrient management plan, there's not a sample that has shown high nitrates or high TDS. Those are the two levels that you look for. Nitrates are from sewage, TDS is total dissolved solids. If we don't have proof that it's in the drinking water or close to it, which we don't have now, they're going to now come to us and say, what's the top water look like? And that's where the city and the water district have to get together and say, hey, there is concern with the top water of the aquifer, and we got to figure out what's going on, because we don't want the conduit from the top water to go to the bottom water and us have a bigger issue like other districts close by have had. So
Who would be the lead agency for stepping in and correcting the problem? Would it be whoever issued the permit?
you mean as far as the failing systems?
The repair of this failing system, who is ultimately going to jump in and say, fix it?
Believe it or not, they're privately owned. So the city's not going to be responsible.
It would
They
be
may
the
have been the
State Water
agency that
Resources
looked at it,
Board.
but the State Water Resources Control Board that we're meeting with is going to be the one that says, hey, your discharge permit is out of compliance, and at this point, something needs to happen.
And the problem is, the hammer comes down on the private homeowners
Yeah,
that, you know, just
and it kind of
bought
is.
into something that they had no idea.
Yeah.
You know, you think you're buying a house, you think you gotta flush your toilet and everything's good. Isn't that the way it is? Well, then it isn't. I just wanna be sure that as there's changeover in the city, when you meet with them there, you always let them know.
Yeah.
'Cause
So I'm going to get to it in my management report, but I guess I can go there a little bit now. I did take place in the city strategic planning session for 2 days, Friday night and then a Saturday session earlier this month. And it's interesting that the issues they have, wastewater never came up. But the issues that were coming up were expenses are exceeding revenues, and we have to find a way to get a different revenue stream. Whether it's a tax, a 1% tax that's passed, that they're thinking about, or how do we have another revenue stream? And parts of it, usually when you talk about a 1% tax or a 1.5% tax, is because you're putting in a sewer system and you want other people to start paying for that sewer system. So these kind of conversations with city management are happening. It's exciting to know that they're at the table at the salt nutrient management plan. So the salt nutrient management plan this district has spent all efforts on right now. They are aware, they turn it in with us, and they review it with us. Stone is catching up on everything that we're dealing with. We believe that Wednesday's meeting, there's going to be a big push on what's going on with this upper water and how are we protecting the upper water, because they're also concerned with the upper water, not just the lower drinking water. So I'm confident that the city is there and at the table with us and having great conversation. I think just like a lot of things that go on in this town, everybody's wondering where the money's coming from. So again, if the issue is forced, sewer is forced, and there's no reason why sewer is forced, let's just say there's no nitrate issue and there's no problem, I think this community has a chance to open up their hand and say, if
So
you're
you're
forcing
saying the
it-
water district has a better relationship with the city than many of the residents in this community believe was going on in the past few years?
I 100% believe that.
That's all I wanted to hear.
And I believe that because we know that we're in this together. Let's just say Wednesday's meeting, they want to throw the city under the bus because the top water is considered in the septic tanks. We've already had a meeting with the Regional Quality Control Board that we're not okay putting the city under the bus here. They're working on it. We're working together on the salt nutrient management plan, and we may have to try to figure out how to fund some of these monitoring wells that they want. If this USGS study can take off any faster than we're pushing, because we are pushing that, the USGS study is going to give us an idea of what the unsaturated zone in the aquifer is. So you have top water, you have unsaturated zone, and then you have bottom water. How in the unsaturated zone, where are those nitrates? How close are they to our drinking water, and how much time do we really have? And that USGS study is a big study for this community to tell us.
Has some of the problems that were there been worked out, do you know?
With USGS,
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is the earmark money that was always there was directed towards a sewer project that didn't take place. So now you're redirecting funds through a federal government saying, hey, we need this earmark money for this. And so you're redirecting those funds, and we're in that process right now. The city has a wonderful federal lobbyist that is working with us. Took 2 calls with them today. We're trying to figure out that those federal dollars stay in this community because they're important. It's $2 million in federal funds that we're looking to get. This district has committed $200,000 to the USGS study that's in the new budget because we only had $100,000. You guys approved an extra $100,000. There's $200,000 from our side of it, and then there's a $2 million federal
The
grant.
city.
The water district.
The water, you guys, the board.
The board of directors has approved $200,000, and again, the federal grant on their side is about $2 million.
Yeah.
And that, 2.2, that money needs to stay in this community with this study. It's important for wastewater.
Important for the whole community.
Yeah.
Good. Director Woods? Director Arnold?
Nothing.
Okay. Thank you for that, Light. And you're up. Your report.
Thank you, Board of Directors. For the month, I just wanted to let you guys know that I took part in a panel discussion at Copper Mountain College for the Water Technology Program. CMC is bringing water technologies hopefully sooner to this area, but earlier in the month, they asked me to sit on a panel and talk to students and talk to people about water technologies and what we're doing in the industries up here and what our employees right now have to do to take these other programs that hopefully very soon will be at Copper Mountain. During the month, I was able to do a presentation for the local Rotary Club, just giving an update on projects, legislation. I do that every about year and a half or 2 years whenever they ask. So we definitely were there showing our face and making sure that group knows kind of where the district stands. The district was also invited to take part in the strategic planning session, and that was very interesting because I wanted to be very pertinent where we needed to be. And so the challenges that this district faces, this city is facing as well. Whether it's a revenue stream or whether it's our carbon footprint of our fleet. That is going to be a big issue for the city because they did not do some of the things they needed to do with their vehicles. So being at those strategic planning sessions was awesome. They put on a great event for 2 days. So I just wanted to let you know it took place in both days, and Stone was very appreciative that we were there having communication and even in the Saturday session going into breakout sessions with community members and explaining why we were there as the district. So the district, along with engineers from Kennedy Jenks and Corona Environmental, kicked off their Well 11B desktop project that you guys approved. So that's up and going. And also, I was able to attend the joint meeting from the Copper Mountain and the Morongo Unified School District yesterday. Again, water technologies was talked about, but there were very good presentations there on a dual meeting that I wanted to see how they took place. So just kind of an update on things that I did this month, and I'm sure there was 100 more, but those were kind of the focus items that I know that I worked on for the district throughout the month. So we are getting ready to bring you guys back budget next month, first draft. That's been an interesting process, like it always is, but also pretty soon thereafter is we'll be bringing you guys a rate study for this district to do a rate study for the next 5 years. I think we're looking for a 5-year rate study. So if the board has any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
No questions. Okay, thank you, Matt. And item number 6 on the agenda is a closed session, public employee performance evaluation for our government code for the general manager. So with that, we are going to, I guess, adjourn this meeting and go to the other one. I'm sorry. Need a motion to go into closed session.
I'll make a motion.
A second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Closed session.
I can't get back.
Okay. We'll bring the meeting back to order, and coming out of closed session, we have nothing to report. Moving right along. Item number 7 of the agenda, future agenda items and staff task, director's comments and reports.
I would like to
Please, go ahead.
request a future agenda item. I would like to request a special meeting for the continuation, evaluation, and contract of the general manager. I suggest the date of May 29th, 4 o'clock regular time. That would be my suggestion and request, President Coghill.
I concur. I concur. Larry, do you have anything else? Or do you have anything? Director Wade, do you have anything else? Did Eric go?
I have nothing else.
Director Arthur?
Nothing.
Director Laser?
No, sir. Thank you, President Coghill.
Then we're going to need a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
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 We're adjourned.